Mir Qasim. As you have already learned, the company wanted to extend their power in India or wherever they were. Like Karnataka, they also wanted to extend the power in Bengal, but Bengal Nawab was not ready to provide them trade facilities or full freedom. And this became the main reason behind the conflict. This became the main reason of the conflict between the Nawab of Bengal and the British. There were some reasons. First, company wanted to set up a puppet government in Bengal. Puppet government, puppet means a toy that is guided by the string by a person. Here, puppet government means the government who is not free to take decision and to run system by its own. Puppet government means a government which runs the system according to the instruction of others. You have already learned that after the Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. Mir Jafar failed to fulfill the demands of the company. It is why he was replaced and Mir Qasim was made the Nawab. Mir Qasim also did not want to do the work as per the instruction of the Nawab. In short, on one hand, company wanted to set up the puppet government in Bengal, while the Nawab of Bengal was not in this favor. Second, Mir Qasim wanted to show himself as an independent ruler of Nawab. He wanted to do the work in his own kingdom as an independent, free or sovereign Nawab, sovereign ruler. But company did not want to allow or did not want to see such situation. In the meantime, Nawab of Bengal took some steps that annoyed the British. For example, Nawab curbed or wanted to check the freedom of British officials, right? Nawab wanted to check the growing power of officials of the East India Company. It resulted in conflict. Next was what? He gave the equal trade facilities to the British and the Indian merchants. It also annoyed the British. Why? Actually, the British wanted to get more facilities than Indians. Right? They were given earlier the trade-free facilities. I mean, tax-free trade facilities. Tax-free trade facilities that the company wanted to avail in Bengal also. Actually, this type of facility was harmful for Indian merchants because Indians had to pay tax while the British had not to pay the tax. So it was very difficult for the Indian merchants to compete with the British merchants. It is why Nawab gave the equal facilities. So it also annoyed the British. It is why he decided to remove Mir Qasim and he attacked on Bengal. Mir Qasim took help of Shuja-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam. Shuja-ud-Dawla was the Nawab of Awadh and Shah Alam was in that period Mughal emperor, and a fighting took place in the battlefield of Palasi, that is between Murshidabad and Calcutta. And I'm sorry, the battle took place in Buxar, that is in Bengal, and in this way, that Buxar is in Bihar. I'm sorry, Palasi is in Bengal. In Buxar, the battle took place in which Mir Qasim was defeated, and along with him, two other forces were also defeated. Those were Shah Alam and Shuja-ud-Dawla, and in this way, this was the end of Battle of Buxar. So, in short, once again, I am going to mention the main regions behind the Battle of Buxar that took place in 1764. First is the company wanted to set up the puppet government in Bengal while Nawab was not ready. Second, Nawab wanted to behave as an independent ruler while company was not in this favor. Next, Nawab wanted to check the power of the officials, British officials in Bengal. It was also against the desire of the company. Next, Nawab gave the equal trade facilities to British and Indian merchants. It annoyed the British, and all these were the regions. Now, let me to discuss about the results. There were main four results of the Battle of Buxar. First, Mir Qasim was defeated in the battlefield. In this battle, Mir Qasim was defeated, and along with him, Shuja-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam also got defeat. Next, victory of the British in Battle of Buxar established the colonial rule in British presidency or in Bengal, and next it led the control of British over Bengal and later on in India. Fourth, it helped the British to gain rule as well as Diwani, means the right to collect revenue from Bengal, now Bihar and Odisha. These were the four main results of the Battle of Buxar. Okay, first, Mir Qasim was defeated. Second, victory of the British established the colonial rule in Bengal presidency or British presidency. Next, British control started to extend its power in all over India. Next, it helped the British to gain rule as well as Diwani, means a right to collect revenue from Bengal, that was included with Bihar and Odisha. Okay, so in this way, this was the dual government. So dual government means double government, right? Dual government means double government. As you have just learned, as one of the basic feature or result of the Battle of Buxar was right to collect revenue that was obtained by the British company from the Nawab of Bengal. Right to collect Diwani means revenue. The right to collect revenue, note is given on the bottom of this paragraph. You see this clip of PPT. In this way, right to collect Diwani started dual government in Bengal. It continued in Bengal from 1765 till 1772. Dual government means double government. Double government here means there were two heads under this government. I mean, there were two heads of the same government. Generally, in a government, there are only one head. But in this system, there were two heads. First was the company, which had given the power, or which had the power to control army, judiciary, and revenue collection. Okay. And second head was the Nawabs. I'm sorry, here Nawabs is written, only Nawabs should be there, not Nawabs. Second, the Nawab. He was in charge of the whole administration. Right? What have you seen here? Government was divided into two parts, two heads. One was the company and other was the Nawab. Company was in charge of army, judiciary, and revenue collection, while Nawab was in charge of administration. Actually, this division was illogical, unjust. Have you understood? And actually, company got much power without any responsibility, because responsibility remains in one's hand, who is in charge of administration. Because the people will ask the reason of any problem to the king, to the administrative head. Right? King was made the head of administration, but no power was given, right, like army, judiciary, revenue, I mean money, material, finance. All these things were kept in the hand of the British. And Nawab was made very weak. So in short, what have you learned? Company got much power without any responsibility, while the king got all responsibility but no power. And it is why this system proved very harmful for Bengal, and it brought so many sufferings in Bengal. It proved a curse, एक अभिशाप साबित हुआ ये. Now, an example is given here. It was a curse, it was proved. Because when in 1770 famine took place, famine is a situation when people had nothing to eat. This is just like the condition of starvation, where there is no production, no cultivation. The death of the people in Bengal famine in 1770 took place on large scale. Thousands of people died, but company did not take any action because she said that it was not her responsibility. King, it was the responsibility of the king, but king had no power. It is why king failed to take any action. So this was the dual government, and it was the harm of the system. And it is why when in 1772 Warren Hastings came India as a governor of Bengal, as a governor of Bengal, he abolished this system, and in this way, in 1772, this system was abolished, got end, and on whole Bengal, only the British had got power to rule. And in this way, absolutely, I mean completely, Bengal was brought under the control of British. Okay? Thank you. Now next is Anglo-Mysore Wars. But I want to give you few minutes to ask some question. I am giving pause here, and now topic is Anglo-Mysore Wars. British wanted to gain more facilities and political power in Mysore also. The king of Mysore, Hyder Ali, had already seen the activities of the company in Carnatic and Bengal, so he was not in favor to give the full support or freedom in their own land, in his own land or in Mysore. After the Odeiyar kingdoms, end of the Odeiyar kingdoms or dynasty, in 1760, Hyder Ali became the ruler of Mysore. And after that, his son Tipu Sultan became the ruler of Mysore. Both of the rulers did not give full freedom to the British to get facilities or to enjoy all the rights in their own land. While the company wanted to extend her power and get all kinds of support and facilities in Mysore by defying the rule of the country. It is why many restrictions were brought by both the Nawabs, both the rulers of Mysore on the British company. The company used to, actually, first you learn there are 4 Mysore wars. Here it is written first, second, third, fourth. First was 1767 to 69. Next, 1780 to 84. Third, 1789 to 92. And last one, 1799. Okay. This is the basic introduction. It is not written in your book for your clear understanding. I am giving this fact after studying other books. Actually, Mysore emerged as a strong kingdom under the rule of Hyder Ali and his famous son Tipu Sultan. They had profitable trade of the Malabar coast where the company purchased pepper and cardamom, spices. In 1785, Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through the ports of his kingdom, and this allowed local merchants from trading with the company. Right? Company was not allowed, people were not allowed to contact with company for trade purpose. He also established a close relationship with the French company, and French was the enemy of the British company. He was the rival. So this made the British hostile to Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, and it caused wars. So one by one, we will learn what was the causes of the first Mysore war, second, third, fourth. In this way, we will learn. Now, next is, this is the picture of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan is known as the Tiger of Mysore. Okay. Now, next is the scene of first Anglo-Mysore war that took place in 1767 and 69. Actually, in this war, one side was Hyder Ali and other side was 3 forces. Now here you see Hyder Ali and 3 forces, one alliance. One group was made by the British by the help of 2 Indian kingdoms, 2 rulers. One was the Maratha and other was the Nizam. And all these 3 made a group, a alliance, and it was known as Triple Alliance, in which British, Maratha and Nizam were the members. Now, what were the main events and cause and events of first Mysore war? Hyder Ali controlled Madras and gained some success without the help of British. British did not want to see any kind of success of Hyder Ali because the company always wanted to see Indian rulers in weak condition so that they could get control over them or get all the trade facilities. So in short, what you have learned, Hyder Ali controlled Madras and gained some success. This created the jealousy among the British. The British made a triple alliance against Hyder Ali, in which Nizam, Maratha, and British were the members. Hyder Ali was also very intelligent ruler, so secretly he got the support of the Maratha and Nizam, who were the friends according to the alliance to the British. He set up the peace treaty with Maratha, and Nizam was giving temptation to provide some financial help. And when the British Hyder Ali attacked Arcot, British became helpless because their friends were in favor of Hyder Ali. So in Arcot attack, British was defeated and helpless British had to sign a peace treaty with Hyder Ali on the condition of mutual help. I mean, both of them became ready not to launch war against each other, but will give help to each other. And in this way, first Mysore war ended and result came in the favor of Hyder Ali. Now, next is Second Anglo-Mysore War. It was fought in 1780 to 1784, right? Okay. So in this way, Second Anglo-Mysore War, the British wanted to attack the French at Mahe. Actually, Mahe was under the influence of the French. But British wanted to attack the French at Mahe, but Hyder Ali did not allow, because after all, Hyder Ali was the head. So the English declared war against him and his alliance. Hyder Ali owned and captured Arcot again. Hyder Ali died in course of the war, and his son Tipu Sultan continued the war. At last, the Treaty of Mangalore was signed in 1784 between Tipu Sultan and the British to restore peace. Both of them returned the conquered part to each other and war prisoners, those who were captured in course of war. Both of the parties freed the captives, war prisoners, as per the Treaty of Mangalore. Mangalore is the name of the place. Now, next is the Third Anglo-Mysore Wars, right? So, we have 5 minutes. Better it will be, this should be consumed for chatting or discussion to satisfy your query. So now let me to unmute you all. Next day.